Fine. The recording is started. Give me a sound check,
Pandya,
please.
and I'm an assistant professor of chemistry at HNHP Kotak Institute of Science, Rajkot. Today, I'm going to talk something about.
आवाज है आवाज
सर वॉल्यूम ऊपर
Yes,
करो
sir.
वॉल्यूम શું કરું
इंक्रीज
ઓકે
mind mapping.
હવે
Mind mapping, as such, is a new tool for a lot of you students.
Yes, sir, okay.
But it is something which is going to be very, very helpful in your life because it's got something to do with your mind, with your brain, and the things that you can achieve after understanding this topic would be immense. It will be very, very, very useful to you in your life. So let me just go through to this concept of mind mapping. Before we start, what is mind mapping? Let me just ask you a question. What is life? If I ask you this question, everyone would have a different answer, Everyone would be having their own answers because based on their own perceptions and experiences of their life. A lot of us would say that life is a journey. Yes, life is definitely a journey. It starts and it just ends somewhere. So for some, it might be goals. There are people who are very, very much goal oriented. For them, they just keep on creating goals and then they have to achieve those goals, and that's their definition of life. For others, there might also be like a few people who not have a very easy approach to life. For them, life may be a war. Life for yes, it's also a supermarket, ain't it? We have so many options ahead in front of us. We always have to choose things between us. It's always option A or option B, and its life is all about choosing the correct option always. So yes, it is a supermarket. It also moves like a movie sometimes. Say for example, if you are in experiencing things, say youngsters are always going to be in this love story kind of thing. So it's a movie for them. For some, it's a reality show. Some might lose something, some might gain something, but in all of this, we can just kind of get to one point and we'll agree to it that yes, there is a lot of chaos going around in our head. Always, constantly, we are keeping on thinking. We are always into this chaos of thoughts in and around us. So just take one example, Dwayne. We are all students, right? And in this, goals are very important. You can just summarize the goals and you can just segregate it within 5 parts. You'll have your academic goals when you're students. As you grow forward, you'll have your financial goals. Then you'll also have your social goals. Apart from all of these, you'll have your own personal goals. That is something which is there inside you. And then the last but not the least, the spiritual goals. So if you want to kind of succeed into it, if you want to be successful, you have to achieve all these goals. So now,
ભાઈ સમજાય છે સંભળાય છે વ્યવસ્થિત everything going perfectly smoothly?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
what? How can you do it? What is all this? This is what you see in front of you right now is a mind map. Now, at first, what you'll find is all this jumbled up. There is this central thing. It is having an eye, and then there are a lot of branches coming out onto it, and then there are different colors, different shapes. There is a lot of things going around into it, and at first, you might be thinking, "Oh my God, what is all this?" And I'm not able to kind of get into it. But wait, I'll just kind of આ બધી વસ્તુ ખોલીશ તમારી સામે કે આ છે શું બેઝિકલી. આ જ વસ્તુ એવી છે, this is the thing in which you are going to use your mind, and the mind actually works in this manner. Why does it work in this manner? Just let us try to understand. We all know that brain has 2 parts, right? Right brain and left brain. Right brain is all about motivation, it's all about creativity, it's intuition, it's feelings, it's emotions, it's completely haphazard, right? It has long-term memory, it has subconscious mind. Oh, the subconscious power of subconscious mind. It has this musics and songs and suggestions. And on the other hand, intelligence, what does it say? It is very much structured. It is intelligence, it's logic, it's thinking, it's short-term memory, the conscious awareness that yes, we are conscious, we are aware. We are into our conscious state, right? Languages, the reasoning, all the boxes, this problem solving techniques, and the left brain is constantly working onto the right brain, and this is how we do it, right? See, again, just to kind of give you a new picture, and the picture is, this picture speaks 1,000 words, and always remember this in mind mapping: picture speaks 1,000 words. this one picture is going to show you like what is the difference between a right brain and a left brain, isn't it? Now this is a very beautiful picture. It is all the gardens and smells and sights and playings and emotions and all those things, and here you see all the structured things, right? You'll have right brain will have big pictures, it will have observations, it will have shape, musics and patterns and beauty and imagination and all the possibilities going around. And on the other hand, what is the left brain about? It's logics, it's verbal, it's detail, it's all the science, the names, the math, the forming of strategies, the order, thinking, writing, all these are left brain. So in conjunction, both of them keep on working onto one another, right? Say for example, we all know about computers, right? And we all know that for every hardware there is some software working onto it, right? So similarly, the right brain and left brain are very, as you can see on the board, this is a cockpit and it is having a lot of computers onto it, right? And having a lot of push buttons and everything is just like a human brain, which is having lots and lots of things going in and around. Similarly, if you see a neuron in neurology, you know this is a neuron. What you can see over here, yeah, this is kind of a neuron, and this is a machine. Now see, they're very similar in nature when both of them are working, right? So what's next? Yeah, see a route map. Okay, and see the beauty of all these things. I'm trying to make you understand the importance of the mind map over here. Say for example, if you start with New Delhi and if you want to go to say Oman, you go to Oman and then you go to Cairo, and from Cairo you want to go to Frankfurt, and from Frankfurt you want to go to London, and from London you go to New York, from New York you go to California, from California to Florida, and from Florida you flow back to Mumbai. So this will be a route map. Right. Similarly, if you see that there is a mind map, then it is just like a route over there. You want to do something, you want to be successful. Say for example, you want to start a new venture into it, right? So how will you reach and how will you make that venture successful? So you can create a mind map out of it, and this is just an example that I've given to you. A mind map can very well be a mirror for your own self. Got it? The brains are very, very curious, and a lot of things keep on going around in and out of the brains, and they keep on working since the day we are born till the day we die. They are constantly working, ain't it? It's just very beautiful. The tree, see the nature, right? It's just like that. The trees and the rivers and tributaries and all of things. Now, what is all this? Now, how does mind work? We all understand. See, the information goes inside a learner's mind in different ways, right? The visual information, as you can see over here, the visualizing information would go through the eyes. Hearing information would go through the ears, and reading information would go by you read, right? Then, as we all know, in our Indian perspective, we also have there are 5 sensory organs, and all the information are then getting into our mind through all the 5 sensory organs, ain't it? It definitely is. So from that learner's mind, it goes towards the information that is being recognized actively, existing framework, social context, the imageries that are being formed, the memories that are being formed based on those imagery. And when all of these gets a churn into it, what you get out of that is a meaningful learning. And the basis of the education today is knowledge. It's more learning, right? So say for example, when you have
એ આગલો જે પીસ જે હતો એ એક જર્નલમાંથી મેં લીધું હતું, બરોબર છે? અને એ એટલા માટે ને શીખવાડવા માટે મૂક્યું છે. એ આગલી જે જસ્ટ ઇફ યુ ગો બેક અ બિટ, જસ્ટ થોડુંક પાછળ જાઓ. ઇફ યુ કેન ઓબ્ઝર્વ અહીંયા કન્સ્ટ્રક્ટિવિસ્ટ થિયરી ઓફ લર્નિંગ, બરોબર છે? મેડિકલ એજ્યુકેશન, BMC મેડિકલ એજ્યુકેશન નામની જર્નલ છે, 2010નું પબ્લિકેશન છે. એમાં એ લોકો મેડિકલ જર્નલની અંદર આ વસ્તુ આપી હતી, બરોબર છે? એટલા માટે અહીંયા તમને સમજાવું.
What you get out of that is a meaningful learning, and the basis of the education today is knowledge. It's more learning, right? So say for example, when you have this habit, we have been constantly been taught. આપણે એમને ધરાર આપણે જ્યારે કોઈ બી વસ્તુ લખવા માટે જ્યારે બેસીએ છીએ અથવા તો જ્યારે કાંઈ બી તમારે યાદ રાખવું તો આપણે કાં નોટ્સ લેવાની આદત છે. વી ઓલવેઝ હેવ ધીસ હેબિટ ઓફ ટેકિંગ નોટ્સ, right? And they are obscure keywords. It is very boring, right? It sometimes also it's a waste of time, and we know that sometimes even in our classes, the yawning that you all have, ગમે ત્યારે બધાને એક બગાસું આવી જાય છે, right? And you keep on reading that unnecessary notes. It's always in that particular format, from top to bottom and from left to right, and that is the simple way that we have kept on doing it since we have been taught how to write it, right? And it's very boring in nature. Now, thinking, it's a very, very critical aspect of learning. You have to start to think, And what is thinking? You cannot just think absurdly, right? If you have to be very pinpointed of what you want to think. Now see, for example, visual thinking. What does Einstein have to say about visual thinking? The words or the language, as they are written or spoken, do not seem to play any role in the mechanism of thought. The physical entities which seem to serve as elements in thought are certain signs and more or less clear images which can be voluntarily reproduced and combined. This combinatory play seems to be an essential feature in productive thought. See the word productive thought before there is a connection with logical construction in words or other kinds of signs which can be communicated to others. So it might be difficult to kind of understand the whole thing, right? So let us see what Carl Jung used to say. Whose propensity of the world of dreams and other realms of physical thought led to a major contribution in analytical psychology. He had to say, I felt downright fear of mathematics class. The teacher pretended that algebra was a perfectly natural affair to be taken for granted, whereas I didn't know the numbers really were. They were not flowers, they were not animals, not fossils, they were nothing something that could be imagined. They were mere quantities, the result of counting. To my confusion, these quantities were not represented by letters, which signified sounds. Why should numbers be expressed by sounds? A, B, C, X, Y, Z were not concrete and did not explain to me anything about the essence of numbers. Mathematics class became a sheer terror and torture to me. Right? And what did he do? He is considered to be one of the greatest minds of 20th century. Right? Now, say for example, there is this book named The Back of the Napkin by Dan Rom. Right? And this is he kept on, in the back side of the napkin, he used to create all this imagery. He used to write things on the back of the napkin, and that used to be very useful, and the whole book has been created out of that. Say visual thinking. Right? Now, what is this? Can anyone tell me what is this?
આ શું છે? ખ્યાલ છે? કોઈ કહી શકે છે? એની વન ઓફ યુ? એ શું છે? એ પિક્ચર શેનું હતું? એ બહુ ફેમસ પિક્ચર છે. Does anyone know what it actually is? જસ્ટ એક ગેસ તો કરો ફટાફટ. પુષ્ટિ?
Yes, sir.
શું હતું એ પિક્ચર?
Sir, actually મારા નેટવર્ક કનેક્શન વયું ગયું.
ઓકે, તોરા
Yes, sir.
શેનું પિક્ચર
Sir, I
હશે?
don't know actually what it is.
ઓકે, તરંગ તને શું લાગે છે?
Nietzsche, Leonardo's mysterious handwriting લખ્યું હતું. I know him, but don't know about that.
તને શું લાગે તરંગ?
સર મને તો આમ હેલિકોપ્ટર પ્લેન એના જેવું લાગ્યું.
યસ, એકચ્યુઅલી ઇટ ઇઝ અ હેલિકોપ્ટર. એટલા વર્ષો પહેલાં હેલિકોપ્ટરની જેણે કોઈ ટૂંકમાં શોધ થઈ જ નહોતી, એના કેટલા 100 વર્ષો પહેલાં અ પર્સન વિઝ્યુઅલાઇઝડ દેટ, બરાબર છે, અને પછી એને પ્રોટેક્ટ કર્યું. કઈ રીતના ઇમેજિન દિસ, એને એન્ક્રિપ્શન કર્યું હતું. નો સી દેટ, એ કઈ રીતના એને કર્યું હતું.
This is a Leonardo DiCaprio's one of the famous paintings of Leonardo DiCaprio, and not also that. This
બાય મિસ્ટેક છે ડિકેપ્રિયો નહીં, લિયોનાર્ડો ડા વિન્સીઓ, મારી મિસ્ટેક છે.
is also one of the images that he created long before the helicopters were even created. They were even his visual thinking about the same particular thing. But what I really want to show you is all this. Can you see this? He has written down something, but it's not legible to us. But to his mind, he was very particular about it. There might be a time that people might be just taking it away from them, right? So he had actually thought, and he had trained his mind to write it in a way that can only be solved if you take that page in front of a mirror. He was able to write in mirror image, which only could be understood by himself.
સમજાણું? કેટલો ડિફિકલ્ટ થાય, કેટલું એને ટૂંકમાં એ પોતાની જાત એના મગજને ટ્રેન કર્યું હતું એને. હી કુડ રાઇટ ઇટ ઇન મિરર ઇમેજ, અને હી કુડ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ, કારણ કે એક પોતે જ સમજી શકે કે એને શું લખ્યું છે.
So that's the power of visual thinking, and a lot of people like these use kind of things, right? Charles Darwin, this is an image of Charles.
આ અગેન ઓરિજિનલ છે, બરોબર છે. ચાર્લ્સ ડાર્વિનની જે બુક જે છે એમાંથી એનું પોતાનું ઓરિજિનલ સ્કેચ છે.
Charles Darwin's thing, an evolution sketch from the notebook which was printed in 1837, right? see this? Can you observe? He's trying to show something through an image, and which is already having, as we say, a picture speaks 1,000 words. What do you
આ શું છે પુષ્ટિ? વોટ ઇઝ ધીસ?
The telescope.
વેરી ગુડ. જોજે હવે કોનું છે ઈ.
see over here? What do you think? What is this? Yeah, it's a telescope, right? Everyone would guess the telescope, but who has given this telescope? This telescope was drawn by none other than Newton himself. It was his visual thinking that there would be something like this to have a telescope, right? And if you can observe over here, it's Newton's own drawing of a telescope and its parts, visualizing and just giving an example of what all these parts would be like. So again, way ahead of his time. Don't we know, all the chemistry students, don't we know the famous story of Kekulé, Frederick Augustus Kekulé, who has given us the structure of benzene? He is considered to be the father of organic chemistry to us, don't we? So after all this, I just come to, what is a mind map? Mind map is a visual form of note taking that can be done either individually or as part of a group. At its heart is a central image or a one particular idea.
હવે એકચ્યુઅલી માઇન્ડ મેપ શું છે અને કઈ રીતે બનાવાય એ વસ્તુ જે છે અહીંયા તમને જાણવા મળશે. બરાબર છે? સો ઓબ્ઝર્વ કરજો હવે.
A mind map is a very powerful graphic technique which provides a universal key to unlock the potential of your brain, and believe me, the brains are the biggest machines available and something that has been created by God. Mind map can be applied to every aspect of life, where improved learning and clearer thinking will enhance your productivity. It harnesses the full range of the cortical skills: the words, the images, the numbers, the logic, the rhythm, the color, the spatial awareness, that is your awareness inside your space in 3 dimension, in a single, uniquely powerful manner. In doing so, it gives you the freedom to capture an infinite power and creativity to your own brain. Now this might seem very, very difficult for you, but when you practice doing these things, you will understand how good this technique is, right? Say for example, I am just taking there is something, a central image, right? The central image is speaking to me as it is declutter, right? So what is declutter? Declutter is to free a space up, free the mind, free up unwanted, unused, old, outdated, broken, spare. But then over here, can you see that all those images over here, right? Images are speaking to you. Collective and overbuying. Other is donate, charity, give away, fundraise, sell, right? Be cleaner, healthier, tidier, and you are supposed to be uncluttered cupboards, uncluttered bags, the uncluttered drawers, sheds, garages. The drawers may have uncluttered shelves, right? Then what you say, it's having hoarding, surplus, full house. So how will you declutter your life? And this is a mind map for that. And once you do this, your mind will be absolutely clear that what all things do you want to do in your life to declutter yourself. Now, how to do this? How to create a mind map, right? The subject of attention is crystallized in a central image. The first thing that you need to know is you need to have that one central image, the idea that is very important and on which you are going to do your mind mapping. The main theme of the subject will radiate from the central images into the different kind of branches. The branches hold on to a key image, word, printed on associated lines, and then details that are radiated out. The branches form a connected nodal structure. Say for example, over here there is this something which is something to do with say Linux, GNLU and Linux, not my subject, but then this is something which is a mind map, right? The guidelines on a mind map, what are the guidelines to prepare a mind map? It is open to free interpretation by each individual. I have given you many examples ahead. Every mind is free, right? So you're free to kind of go through all those mind maps on your own, and then you'll see that how your mind will start working onto it because of that particular image. The image has a way of speaking to you itself. Start from the center, very important, with an image of the topic, the idea. As I said, use at least 3 colors, okay? Let your imagination flow. Be very imaginative when you do this, and in that way you are going to help your mind. You're going to help yourself. Use images, symbols, codes, dimensions throughout the mind maps. You can have something in 3 dimension, you can have pictures, you can have some objects, you can have things, you can have numbers, you can use anything that you want to, right? You select keywords and print using upper or lower case letters. Use all the letters possible, right? In whichever case you want to write. તમે એને capitalમાં લખી શકો, you can write it in small letters, you can write the first capital and then other small, the way you want. You are free to use it. Each word and image must be alone, sitting on its own line. દરેક વર્ડ જે છે એ પોતાની ઇમેજમાં પોતાની એક જે બ્રાન્ચ છે એની ઉપર બેસેલો હોવો જોઈએ. The lines must be connected, starting from the central image. Lines ક્યાંયથી તૂટેલી ના હોવી જોઈએ, right? The lines must be connected, and it will start from where? It will start from the central image, the idea, the central idea. The central lines are thicker, they are more organic, they are flowing, and they become thinner as they radiate out. જે વચ્ચેની લાઇન્સ છે, જ્યાંથી વચ્ચેના સેન્ટ્રલ આઈડિયામાંથી જે બહાર નીકળે છે, એ વચ્ચેની જે લાઇન્સ છે એ બધી થોડી જાડી હશે. દે વિલ બી વેરી ઓર્ગેનિક ઇન નેચર, દે વિલ બી ફ્લોઈંગ આઉટસાઇડ, રાઈટ? પણ એ જેમ બહાર નીકળતી જશે એમ તે પાતળી થતી જશે, થિન થતી જશે, રાઈટ? સો this is a mind map for improving your memory, right? How to improve your memory. So as you can observe over here, this is just how to improve your memory, right? Someone like Buddha Bapa છે ખજવાડા છે માથું, all of the કેમ યાદ રાખવું, how to remember these things. I don't know how to remember these things. So don't worry, I'm there over here, right? And as you can observe, there are these 4 or 5 branches are coming out. They're quite organic, they are very thick, and as they are moving out, they become thinner and thinner, right? How to remember, right? What are the strategies? How to improve the memory, and what are the processes for improving those memories? How do you exercise to improve the memory, right? And what is memory, right? So all the things are there. Anything relating to memory is being there over here, right? So say memory has something to do with health, right? So say process, right? The process has something to do with beginning, right? Mnemonic, what to conclude. A process always concludes, right? Then there are strategies. What are strategies? What are the remainders? What are ongoing things, right? These are completely open to all your brain. You can use anything that you want to. Your brain can assess all this information on by itself. If I just take one mind map and just tell you that one mind map, this would be example of it, but still I have many more. Let us go ahead. Make the lines the same length as the word or the image. Try to do it. It's not always possible, but you can do it. Use colors. The colors that you choose, you will have your own code. All the colors should represent something, and in that manner the mind will start remembering things, right? Develop your own personal style of mind mapping. તમે તમારી જાતે તમારે mind mapping ની સ્ટાઇલને બનાવો. Use the emphasis and show the associations in your own mind map, and those associations that you use are personal to you, right? And once you start using those associations, you will understand that how greatly you are affected by the memory improvement. Keep the mind map clear by using radiant hierarchy, numerical order or outlines to embrace your branches. એકદમ એને ક્લિયર, રેડિયન્ટ. ગીચડું એમ એવું ન લાગવું જોઈએ ગીચડો છે. ગીચડો પહેલા વખતે લાગશે, પણ જ્યારે તમે ખુદ બનાવવા બેસો ત્યારે when you start preparing it yourself, it will become very, very easy to remember. Say time management, right? As you can see, this is time management. See how he has prepared this central image, right? It is a kind of a clock, and it is having this structure as a temple, right? And then there is this management over here. And now what is all this? It is a mind tool, speed reading, mind maps. So yes, mind maps is a time management tool, right? Then faster, smarter, better, urgent versus important. You should know in time management what is urgent and what is important, right? The urgent things are to be done right now, today itself, just now. And important can be something which is important but which can take some a bit time. So you can just manage your time in that particular manner, right? Wastage, what are the things that you will waste during time? And that is something that we do very nicely, don't we? Right? Then something that is known as delegation over here. What is delegate? To do or not to do. Career, life, comfort zones, guidance, teamwork, trust, friendship. To do, not to do. Yeah, you're delegating it. Work-life balance, well-being. Work-life balance has lots and lots of things to do with well-being. Maybe student life you may not understand what is a work-life balance and how it is related to well-being, but believe me, it is something very, very, very important. You need to let go of few things. You need to be fearless. You need to exceed your expectations, transcend the limits. Being confident. So there are a lot of things that come into this time management skills. Just give me a second. I'll put this. It's gone on a battery saver mode, so it's better that I put it onto the charging before it goes out. So I'm sorry for this small pause that's coming onto you. Okay, there you go, up and running. So as we were speaking, time management, big pictures, the chunking, bite-sized, multi-purpose taskings, diversities. How will you do time management? For whom? For what? Where? When? Why? How? These are known as 5W1H, right? So like all these things, if you want to do like manage your time, for whom are you going to do it? What are you going to do it? Where are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? Why would you do it? And how is it that you're going to do it? If you answer all these questions, you'll be very good at managing your own time, right? So this is something, it gives a lot of things about how will you manage your time. And once your mind is attached to it, once your mind gets clear picture of this, then I believe that you are going to be masters in managing your time. And if you are good at managing your time, believe me, you are good at managing your life. Benefits of a mind map. Just as the branches are all connected, so all the ideas are related to one another. I guess that by this time you might be understanding the importance of this. Mind maps are an additional gives an additional depth that a simple list just writing the list. A mind map will give an additional depth to it because it is having colors, it is having structures, it is having letters, it is having pictures, it is having objects, it is having n number of things, right? Together, the mind is totally, both the minds, left brain and right brain, are working simultaneously. By working from the center toward outwards, a mind map encourages learners' thought to grow outside. You might have heard a term that is out of the box thinking, right? So this is a tool that will help you to think out of the box. Right? It encourages the learners to think and grow outwards. Soon the learner's ideas will expand and they will start creating creative thinking. Right? Creative thought is important. The world right now needs creative people. You need to be creative in all aspects of your life. Even if you're maybe in science, even if you're in engineering, you need to think creatively. How would you use all these things creatively? So mind maps are an effective thinking tool because they work with the brain and they encourage it to develop associations between the ideas. Association develop करे छे, बहुत important factor छे. Each branch of the mind map is associated with the previous branch. This is a visual map which complements how the brain works and can lead to huge significant results. See, this is something that I want to show you. You're right. This is a 25 feet Boeing mind map. Boeing company je viman banave che. The company that manufactures the aeroplanes, right? So they prepared a 25 feet mind map, right? Just imagine this, 25 feet. But what was the outcome? They saved dollar, units, tens, 100, 1,000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh crore, 11 crore dollars they saved by just preparing this mind map in their day-to-day life. Imagine how strong this one particular technique can be when you understand it properly and start practicing it. So how? Right? How to do it? You can just start, right? Take a page, start at the center, turn sideways. You can use image, the central idea. There can be an image in the central idea. You can just write 1,000 words. Take that idea in your mind and just write the words. Then it starts getting interesting. Keep your mind focused and concentrate onto that central image. Right? Start using colors, as we had already told you. Assign the code of the color onto those words that you want to put it. તમે એને ઇમ્પોર્ટન્સ વાઇઝ પણ ગોઠવી શકો કે પહેલાં કઈ સાઈડ, અમુક લોકોએ જેને લેફ્ટ સાઈડથી શરૂ કરવું હોય, અમુક લોકોએ જેને રાઇટ સાઈડથી શરૂ કરવું હોય. યુ આર ફ્રી ટુ ચૂઝ એની સાઈડ વિચ ઇઝ કમ્ફર્ટેબલ ટુ યુ. બરાબર છે. પછી તમે એને થ્રુ આઉટ આખામાં કલર્સ વાપરવાના છે. બરાબર છે. અમુક જગ્યાએ તમારે એનર્જેટિક કલર્સ વાપરવાના, લાઇવલી હોવા જોઈએ, વાઇબ્રન્ટ હોવા જોઈએ, એક્સાઇટિંગ કલર્સ હોવા જોઈએ, ડલ કલર્સ નહીં વાપરવાના. રાઈટ, બિકોઝ માઇન્ડ ગેટ્સ એટ્રેક્ટેડ ટુવર્ડ્સ એક્ટિવ કલર્સ. રાઈટ. કનેક્ટ ધ બ્રાન્ચીસ છે, એ બ્રાન્ચને કનેક્ટ કરવાનું છે, એને તમારે લિંક આપવાની છે, સ્ટ્રક્ચર આપવાનું છે, અને એસોસિએશન આપવાનું છે. રાઈટ. ધે શુડ બી વેરી એટ્રેક્ટિવ. ઇટ શુડ એટ્રેક્ટ યોર બ્રેઇન કે આ શું આપ્યું છે, આમાં શું છે, એવું બનવું જોઈએ. બરાબર છે. ઇટ કેન ઓલ્સો બી સ્ટ્રેટ. રાઈટ. પણ જો તમને ન બનાવતા હોય તો બોરિંગ થઈ જાય. બરાબર ને. રાઈટ. 1 કીવર્ડ પર લાઇન. બી વેરી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ ટુ ધીસ. એક લાઇન કરો એટલે ત્યાં એક વર્ડ આવવો જોઈએ. એવું નહીં કે લાઇન કરીને એક ટૂંકમાં 6-7 વર્ડ લખી નાખ્યા. You cannot do that. You cannot just have one line and then write 10 words onto it. No, one line, one word. Be very clear. Just throughout also. So this is how you can create a mind map. So see, I've just given you how to map a mind map, right? See, again, this is one another example of how to create a mind map. You take a paper. It can be blank. It can be landscape, it can be portrait. You have to start from the center and then see over this. There is an image at the center, right? Then what to use? You use images which should be at the center. Then you use color, which is having all the vigor, all the exciting colors, something that can use just as rainbow. Rainbow જેમ કે આપણે જોવું ગમે છે because it is very attractive. So use those attractive colors, right? You need to use words. You can print them. You can just put them single. You can just use a key over there, right? Lines આપો. Lines જે છે you can use connect as a connection lines. They can be thicker, they can be thinner. The length might be varying as per the image and the word.